Okay, we're going to go over how to set up Follow Up Boss and Open to Close together. So when setting up your Follow Up Boss account, the first thing you want to do is go to Follow Up Boss, go to your Admin tab here. So let me click on Admin, and then you're going to come over to Integrations first. So under Integrations, you're going to scroll down until you see Embedded Apps. You're going to go to Open to Close, and you're going to enable this. So as you can see, mine's already enabled. If you come down here to the bottom, you're going to click on the Enable button. Since mine already is, I have a disable. I don't want to click that right now, but what you would do is click Enable here, and then you're going to go over to the API. So API is also under the Admin tab, and then you're going to go to More. If you have too many selections up here, if you have a screen big enough, you may see API on this list. So you're going to click into API, and then you're going to copy your API key. Now this can be done differently. If you want to set up API keys for every single agent on your team so you can send deals over to them, you're going to go ahead into each agent's account, copy their API, and paste it into their agent portal. You can also take the API from an admin account and put it into the app screen on Open to Close. So I'm going to show you both. If you're looking for how to do the agent portal portion of this, skip to the end of the video and I will go through that. Since I have to log into two different screens to do that, I'm going to handle that at the end of the video. So go ahead and copy this API, and then you're going to come over to Open to Close, and you are going, there's two ways you can do this. So you can go to the Apps and API screen here. This is if you have an admin account that you want to link. So this would be like your TC account that has access to all the contacts. Go ahead and pop in that API key here and update it. Now, if you want to do each individual agent as well, you can do both at the same time, or you can do one or the other. It doesn't really matter. You're going to go over to the organization screen. You're going to go to Agents, and your agents should all have a portal in here already. If you don't know how to do that, go ahead and watch the videos at help.opentoclose.com. Go ahead and fill in their name, email address, choose agent portal user. This is a free account versus the paid account for like a TC or team member here. So go ahead and go into your agent portal. You're going to click this to impersonate their account, and then you can go over to the Passwords tab, click on API. You're going to type in www.followupboss.com, and then the API key is one of the selections. Save that, and now your agent and Open to Close is linked. And I'll show you how to do that at the end of this video. Okay, so now that that is done, we're going to go to transaction. I'm going to show you how to set this up. Okay, let's go over to 1234 Beverly, and in 1234 Beverly, we'll go to let's go to the contact screen first. So one of the things you can do is when your agents are filling out the intake form, or when your TC is filling out the intake form. So if your TC comes in here and says fill out agent intake form for the agent, or if the agent does it over in their portal, either way, I'm going to show you an example of an intake form. So I filled out the first page of this intake form. I'm going to go ahead and go over to the next page. And that's actually the document screen. No documents are required on this one. Then we're going to go to the contacts. So under the contacts, we have two buyers are required to put in here. You can go to import from Follow Up Boss here to import this buyer, or if you just wanted a different contact to be, say you had a home inspector and they were over in Follow Up Boss, you could click this, import from Follow Up Boss. You can type in their name. All the Dans are going to pull up. You can select their email. You can select their contact role. So in this case, let's just pretend he's the appraiser, and the cell phone number. So on this screen, you don't have to select two phone numbers, but since Follow Up Boss gives you options to select multiple phone numbers, we gave you two selections as well in here. Okay, and then you just add this person. So once I add that person, they come down in here. He's listed as the appraiser, and then I can go in here, import from Follow Up Boss, grab another contact, and go ahead and put those in here. Okay, so that was the intake form. Now we're going to go back over to the transaction. And in the transaction, you have a couple different ways to do things in here. So under your contacts, you'll also, once you link your APIs, you're going to have a link to import contacts from either, this is my TC account and this is my agent's account. So I can pull from either Follow Up Boss account if I have both of those APIs in here. So if I wanted to go ahead and pull from Brian's account, just click on Brian, type in the name, it's going to pull back the person. You can add them to the contact screen. Now there's also this API screen. So if you go under the API and click Follow Up Boss, you're going to have a bunch of different options here. Content sync, So this is my agent API again. This is my TC API, so I can have those set differently. Let's go into the agent API. So your contact sync, you're going to have the ability to, any email that's sent from open to close, have that go over and sync to your conversation view in Follow Up Boss. So that would be over here. Let me go to Dan's. So that email is going to sync over here. Let me pop back over to open to close. Okay, so we have text, notes, and then also we have field data. So if emails, text, and notes are all going to be in that same location over in Follow Up Boss. They're all going to come in here. They're all going to come under a note. This is to not confuse the agent. The agent's emails that they send out from Follow Up Boss are going to come up as emails, but the emails coming from open to close are going to come up as notes, so you can distinguish between those. It is going to say that it's from open to close here. It's going to have the from, the to. It'll even have links to documents that you send, so the agent can click on those and see what's going on over here. Okay, let me go back over here. Now, field data. This is something you're going to have to set up one time, and that is over in the templates and API field mapping. And this is if you want to sync the custom fields in Follow Up Boss. So if you don't know what I mean by custom fields, they're down here in Follow Up Boss. You can go, I believe, up in the admin tab and create new custom fields. So once you get all your custom fields created, you can link those back and forth from Follow Up Boss to open to close. So over in open to close, the way to do that is come in here and create a new field mapping template. So you're going to create one for Follow Up Boss. You're going to create the API that you want to create it for. So let's create it for my agents API, and let's just call this Brian Test API. So once you create that, what it's going to do is it's going to pull back all the fields in Follow Up Boss. So here are all my fields from Follow Up Boss right here. They come in, you can't change them because that's what they are over in Follow Up Boss. Now you're going to link them to fields over in open to close. So I'm not going to go through all these, but you can come in here and say year built. I want to sync with year built. Let's see here, list price. Let me see if I have a list price in here in this test account. Yeah, listing price. So you can see how some of the names may be different, but what you're doing is telling it, hey, list price over in Follow Up Boss equals listing price over in open to close. Once you get this done, and you don't have to click on save or anything, it automatically saves. Once you get this done, this will be an option over in the transaction. So let me just X out of here. Let's go back into our transaction under the API tab, and now under Content Sync, you can see that this data is synced, and you can select which API field mapping you want. So here's the one I just created. If I want that one, I would check that, say I understand, and then I'm going to go ahead and sync these fields. And you only have to do this once. Now this data is synced for the rest of the transaction. It's going to go back and forth. You just need to tell it which API field mapping you want to use. So you can create as many contacts in here as you want to have all this information going back and forth from open to close to Follow Up Boss, but that's just one example. Okay, under deals. Deals you're going to be able to put in here, you're going to be able to put, hey, this deal is pending right now. Here's the address. You can put a description. This is going to look a lot like Follow Up Boss if you go over to deals and Follow Up Boss. So if I come over, if I go over to Follow Up Boss and I go under my deals, here you go. You can move these from place to place, either from open to close or from Follow Up Boss. Okay, and you can even create custom stages as well. So I just called this blah so you can see that it was a custom stage, and you can put transactions in there as well. So let's hop back over here. You can also assign this to a Follow Up Boss contact. So in deals, some of your options are price, commission, closing date, the people that it's assigned to. So these are the people in your database, and then also the team that it's assigned to as well. Here's your description, add files. You can do a bunch of stuff over here. So just wanted to show you that so you can kind of connect the dots between the two. Okay, so this is for that. So if I wanted Dan to be associated with this one, I'm not sure what happened there. Dan's name should pop up here. I will check on that. Maybe I just have two competing APIs happening here. So anyway, what you would do is select Dan from here. He's going to pop up here, and then you're going to select the Follow Up Boss user that you want this to sync to. So in my case, I would select Andrew, and then you would just hit Update Deal. It's going to go over to Follow Up Boss, and it's going to appear in your deal screen over in Follow Up Boss. Okay, so that is the deal sync, and now the widget. So in the widget, you're just going to say, what contacts do I want to this embedded widget to show up in? So in my case, I have Dan already selected here. All you would have to do is start typing Dan. It's going to pull back all your Dans. You would just add them. I already have it added, so I'm not going to do it again. Okay, when I go over to Follow Up Boss now, I am going to have in Dan's contact record, I'm going to have the embedded widget because I've enabled that in the admin screen under integrations, and so now it's going to pop up here. Now, if Dan's an investor and has like 15 deals going on, you can just hit back and then you can select which property you want to view here. It's going to hold the latest selection in here, so you don't have to do this every time you come into Follow Up Boss. It's going to be on the last selection of property. Now, if Dan, like I said, has 15 properties, you may have to go back, select the right property that you want to see at that time. In the case of a normal buyer or seller, you're just going to leave it on this, and every time you log in, this is going to load with the new data that the TC has updated. So in the timeline, it's going to show you whatever the TC gives you access to. You can set all these little timelines. This may be like closing date, ratified date, inspection date, appraisal date, all the main dates that you want to see. You can have those pop up here. You can also have the details, which is every field. So in Open to Close, if you go over to your field editor, so every field that's in here I can give access to on the Follow Up Boss side. All I'm going to have to do is make these purple. It says Show in Portal. This also means Show in Follow Up Boss as well. So if I come over to Follow Up Boss, I can see all the fields that I gave myself access to. They are read-only here. We don't want the agent changing the TC's fields over and Open to Close. You're going to have documents. This is one of the most helpful ones. I think, Follow Up Boss, I don't think their documents is, super incredible over here as far as the Files tab goes. So now when the TC has files in the transaction, you're going to have access to them over here in Follow Up Boss. If I click this, it's going to go ahead and download it. You can also set it just to open up. So all your documents are in there. You also have contacts. If you don't want, Follow Up Boss is for your leads and you don't want to muddy it up with all these different contacts in the transaction, you can literally just click on contacts and you can see the read-only data for each of the contacts here. So that information is there. Tasks and notes as well. Honestly, I usually have it either set for documents or timeline to get an overview of what's happening. Now, if you want to fill out a new intake form in Open to Close, it's as simple as clicking on this button. It's going to log you in with a token to your account if you have your API hooked up here, and you'll be able to fill out a new form for a new transaction. Now, some of the things in Follow Up Boss that happen over in Open to Close is obviously contacts can come over, like I showed you previously. Custom fields can be synced. All your data here can come in. You have this embedded widget, which we will be upgrading soon with some additional features. And then tasks is the last thing. So you can send a one-off task over to the agent. So let's go over here for a second. Now let's get out of here and let's go into 1234 Beverly. We're going to go into tasks. And as you can see, I've done this a few times. Now if you come in here, you can assign a task to an agent. And you can say, which agent do I want to assign this to? I'm going to assign it to Brian. You do have to select your Follow Up Boss user. And then you have to select the contact that you want the task to appear under. So if I select Dan, and then it's going to give me exactly like it looks in Follow Up Boss when I pull up a task. So this is going to mirror Follow Up Boss. So if I go over to Follow Up Boss and I click on a new task, you can see it's the same exact information as what pulled up down here in this bottom half. So you can go ahead and fill that out, and then it's going to give you a note letting you know that you added this to Chuck E. Cheese's account or added to Dan's account, assigned to Brian on this day and this time. Now when Brian checks that off over in Follow Up Boss, it's not going to check it off over here. The reason is because we don't want all the automation to automatically fire. So in this case, it's just going to alert you with a little red note here that says, hey, this task is done. You may want to follow up with the agent and go ahead and check it off your list and initiate any automatic emails or triggers that you might have going out on this task. Okay, so I think that is the bulk of the Follow Up Boss integration over in Open to Close. Now what I'm going to do is go over to the agent portal and show you how that works. So I'm going to go over to the agent portal. I'm going to go into Brian's account. Now Brian already has an API set up in here, but I'll show you how to do it again. So if you come over into the agent's account, you're going to go under the passwords tab and you can add a new credential. And instead of username and password, you're going to select API key here. Once you select API key, all you're going to do is type in followboss.com and paste over that API key from the agent's account. Don't paste the one from the admin account in here. You're going to want to paste the individual agent, and you're going to want to go into each individual agent's portal and paste in their individual API for each agent, and that's going to give you access. So when this agent fills out the form over here, and this agent, let's just pretend that this is Brian. When I select Brian in here, then it's going to grab his API, and so you're able to sync with Brian's account. So hopefully that was helpful. If you have any other questions regarding the Follow Up Boss integration, go ahead and give support